Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Jay Johnny back here with another video. This is the next episode of the Still Spirits podcast, and I got Keith with me.
Hey guys.
For the few of you who don't know who Keith is actually one of the Discord mods, admins, because you have a separate role than the others, right? Yeah.
Dan decided to be funny and make a demigod to like hint the fact like, hey look, we have gods in our game, and no one paid attention to it.
No, I noticed it, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of funny," because I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work, because I saw the Mount Olympus inside the Discord handle, and I was like, I have no idea what he's doing, but like, it's kind of funny. So
there's been so many little like hints and teases like that, and it's really interesting to see like what's been picked up and what hasn't.
yeah, I could never piece them together, because I was like, okay, Mount Olympus. Keith is a demigod for some reason, but Dan is Titan of the cards. So I was like expecting like something related to mythology, but I didn't know what, especially because none of the cards like directly linked to mythology that I could tell outside of like, you know, Trifernal. Yeah. And I was like, I got no idea what's going on. So
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. We really appreciate having you. So unfortunately, nobody else could make it. Moxie's dead.
Moxie is sick right now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Sick too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's just like, man, we really want you on. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come in, and then just like no one was available. I'm like, you guys really didn't want me that much, I guess.
We've been trying to do this. We've been trying to do this for 4 weeks. Like I brought it up like what 2 to 3 weeks ago, something like that.
I think it was about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd mentioned it to Wirtz before, and I was like, it'd be so cool to interview somebody who knew about the stuff before. Keith is under. He can't say a lot, and he doesn't know much.
There are certain things that I am
Yeah.
not allowed to talk about.
So we're going to avoid anything that could potentially break NDA, and we're going to mostly talking about the community, and like, you know, your involvement in it, and maybe like the development that you've seen that you're allowed, like development of the community that you've seen that you're allowed to discuss.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I can talk about certain things.
Yeah, we're going to avoid any cards outside of like, you know, what's your favorite card revealed so far, etc., stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to avoid anything that could potentially get us into any trouble with Dan. Because
you know, if I say something I'm not supposed to, Dan will just show up to my house with a baseball bat.
yeah, and
I've done it before.
I have sent Dan my address via the Lestrals orders too. So
Yeah, he's got dirt on me. It's okay.
so to start off, go ahead and tell us like just like a little bit about your role as a mod, like, you know, the kind of like engagement you have with the community.
Sure. So I guess I should kind of maybe start at the beginning of this when it came to creating the server. So I have been a Twitch mod for Dan for many years. I've known him pretty well. We've met a couple times. We've had some breakfasts together, and we all went out to dinner once. And then there's the infamous mod pizza party, which is the only thing he's ever paid for us. So that's how we got paid. We got paid with one pizza party once.
Wait, so you're saying Dan really does pay you in pizza? Because I've been joking. I've been cracking jokes that Dan paid.
One time, we had a mod pizza party, and he paid for Domino's. And since then, he's just like, yeah, I pay in pizza. And, but anyway, so let's see. So I was modding for Dan for many years, and I was one of the people. I guess I don't want to say that I ran, but I basically ran his official A Drive Discord for a few years, and then life happened. I got busy with other stuff. I realized I didn't have enough time to really like dedicate to Dan and to the Discord, so I actually stepped down and I took a step back, and other people stepped up to run things for a few years. I was still around, you know, I was still considered a legacy mod. And then he started to shift towards this new card game that he wanted to do. And so he was asking people, like, hey, who wants to jump over and help mod this thing? And I was like, I don't know, I'm already, like, kind of out, you know? I was sort of, like, on my way out the door, just kind of, like, watching the other people do stuff. And he just one day was just like, well, let me show you some of the stuff that I'm working on. And he showed me a lot of Lestrals. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm in. I hate you. How dare you bring me back? And so, there's two people that are demigods in the server. One is Nomi. Nomi is the one who actually designed the server and like set up the channels the way that they are. She's amazing. You need to support Nomi in everything that she does. And she does a lot of like the back end, and like if there's ever a problem with a bot, she's the one that knows how to fix it, because I am bot illiterate, and that's okay. I'll admit that here. Um,
Same, same.
and then yeah, no, I just help run day to day operations and try to just keep the place running.
Well, I think I can speak for most of the community when I say that we were happy to have you in the Discord because I mean, like you really do. You spark a lot of fun and enjoyment, and I mean, like,
I
I
try.
mean, every time you drop in
It's
chat,
a
you're
fine line, right? Because like
yeah,
I need to be the person that like at the end of the day, because Dan's usually too busy dealing with his own stuff. Like I have to decide punishments. I have to decide like, hey, what's cool, what's not cool, and like I want to have fun too. So I have to be like this person who shows up where I'm like, hey, I'm serious. We have to stop this, or hey, like this is going too far. But I also want to be able to jump in and just like cause ruckus just like the rest of you and have a good time. So like I there's this fine line between like I have to be serious, but I also have to like be playful enough and like try to do it without seeming like a jerk.
yeah.
So it's a fine line, and some people don't like me, but that's okay.
I mean, nobody's gonna like anybody with the power to enforce rules. I mean, I don't like people who have the
It's
power to
true.
enforce rules. I mean, not you particular. Hold up.
Oh, okay, okay, sure. And
um,
this is just one on one. I mean, if you have something you need to say to me, say it now, John.
I got beef. We got beef. You don't like
Oh,
pizza.
we got beef.
We got beef. You don't like pizza.
We got beef.
We got
Okay.
beef. You don't like pizza. I mean, that's not that's.
No,
So,
I love pizza. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think pizza belongs in Alestrals.
oh, speaking of pizza not belonging in Alestrals, I sent you my create your own card idea. Uh,
You did?
yes. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think it's creative?
What, just now did you send it, or you talk about like just before?
No, like I sent you. I sent you
Oh,
the panda card.
right,
Yeah.
right. No,
I screenshotted your response to it and I sent it to the Illustrious YouTubers and I was like, oh guys, I think Keith hates me.
listen, I don't hate anybody.
It was a joke.
I don't hate
That
anybody.
was a joke. I mean, like,
Stop.
it's such a good idea. Bex just started laughing when I sent it to her. It was funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so another interesting point. You've been around with the Illustrious for a while. Have you gotten time to play much games? I know you've been busy. I mean, like recently you switched careers, so
So I did. Uh, the weird thing about that is I've known about Alestrals probably since February. I helped actually decide what some of the spirits were going to be because we got to see some concepts and I got to help vote for which ones were going to be which. One famous example of that is Ryceros was originally a spirit design, but I wanted it to be Zaptor, so it's Zaptor. So if you guys are upset that Zaptor exists as the spirit, not Ryceros, blame me. It's okay. Zaptor's my boy, and I love him.
honestly,
But
I actually love that change. I'm not gonna lie,
uh, it's one of those things where,
especially now that I like associate Raceros with trauma.
so like, it's really weird. So I've been helping out, oh, helping out, or at least I've known about Alestrals for a really long time, and I've known like certain cards for a really long time. I have not played a single game myself yet.
Well, we're gonna have to fix that.
I have two of the prototype decks. So at any point in time, if you want to school me and you can make this like video like, wow, I beat like this
Oh yeah.
like Dan guy, and then like try to like
I
boost
beat one
yourself.
of I
You
beat one
can,
of Dan's
because I
beta
don't know what
testers.
I'm doing. So
I mean, I don't think like. See, I personally don't like. I don't get in that whole entire like I'm the best player thing. I mean, a lot of people like to say it. I mean, like you've probably seen it in the Discord. Is that whenever they're talking about good players, they talk about me. The only difference is like I've played against players as good or better than me because I mean like I played against most of the people in the Discord who are actively playing, right?
yeah,
So I mean like there's Baron. He's on a trip to Japan right now, and his father got sick, so he's been unable to play Celestials while he's been helping with him.
gotcha.
And I've never taken a game off of him. And so
Really?
yeah, and so when people are saying like oh he's the best player, he's the best player, I think the Baron, and I'm like you guys have no idea what you're talking about.
Interesting. I mean, I feel bad.
Oh, you're cutting out.
At the same time, who has a great trip to Japan? I've been to Japan before actually. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to Japan, except for the fact that I found out they put corn on pizza. So
They put a lot of things on a lot of things. I don't know if you've ever like looked into Japanese cuisine. We would consider some of the things that they do kind of bizarre.
hmm.
However, like when you're traveling though, like you gotta experience the culture. You gotta just try the stuff that's there, man.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. So
Because like, when else are you gonna be able to have corn on your pizza?
I don't want corn on my pizza. Pineapple belongs on pizza. Corn does not.
Mm.
Pineapple pizza is the best. So
But yeah, no. I'd like to get some games in. Obviously, like I've seen a lot of the stuff. I've seen some of the strategies. I always wanted to make a fire and thunder deck. I was gonna call it Firebolt, but Words was just like it's ketchup and mustard, and now I hate him forever.
yes, no, same. I do too. He took that deck and he just kind of he went beyond beam and then he came in third with it, and I was just like, I hate you.
That's fair. We all hate Words.
We all hate
It's,
words. We all love words,
it's
but
true.
we hate words. Words is horrible.
I'm allowed to say that I hate Words because he dates a mod, so like I know him personally. I met him in real life, so I can say that I hate him and it's okay.
I've spent hours upon hours talking to the man. He is one of the coolest people I know, but God, I fucking hate him. And then he's been he took that whole entire Rise from the troll that I've been doing, and he's gone like completely left field with it. Like anytime somebody says anything and they're like get vaguely close to it, he's just like, yeah, but no. And I'm just like, ah, oh, damn it, words. No, it's funny because so were you around for the Rise from troll? Have you been
What?
the Rise from the card that Dan sent me, the special card Dan
Yes.
sent me? Yeah.
Yes, I am aware of that card. Yes.
Yes. So I've sent spoilers to like 7 or 8 different people, and like everything about the card is in plain view of everyone.
Oh,
So like if somebody wanted to know what the card was, it's all there.
yeah.
All the information is there. They just have no idea what it is. I love it. So you said that you're looking forward to playing fire and electric. What is your favorite type though?
Like so far.
Yeah, just out of the cards revealed. Because I mean,
Okay. I mean, I've always like, especially like with early Thunder, like the not quite control aspect, but like it, at least in its original design state, reminded me the most of kind of like blue decks from Magic. And blue decks are the most annoying,
and the most fun.
but the most fun. And so I didn't know how Thunder was going to change because it like a lot of cards have changed since I've like given some input, and I knew that was going to happen. So I don't know if Thunder really fills that role anymore, but like I'm just going to stick with Thunder, uh, just because again when I first saw it I was like, I know how to do this if it ends up becoming more like this.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see where you're coming from on that. I mean, like I saw the hand control aspect of Thunder, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun. You got Spark It, then you got Amp Up to make sure that you always have a hand size Apple of Discord along with it. I was just like, this is gonna be so much fun.
Yep, I really think that. I mean, I still think it needs a little tweak, and there's some tweaks happening. There's things that are in the works that I can't talk about.
And I would love to know
But
about.
yeah, no, I really want Thunder to be in a good place because I think, like you know, having different colors or flavors that do different things is healthy in a card game.
Yeah. But you know, I was looking at other cards. I mean, like I'm very vocal about the fact I don't like playing water, much to the chagrin of certain
You were
people.
very vocal about how
um,
much you hate water.
and when I look back at it, I'm like, honestly, I like the look of the water cards we have right now more than I like the look of the electric cards because the thunder cards, like, what do they really do? Like what we have right now, it's like just comparatively. None of them work so synergistically. Whereas at least like with Foamy now with the new Sluggle change that Dan just announced yesterday, now it's like at least we have the ability to get our Sluggle out and recover 3 life if Foamy's destroyed. I mean, like now he's taking that input of like, oh yeah, water doesn't do anything off of a Foamy. Whereas electric, if you look at it, you're just like, well, why? What am I doing? What's the cohesive?
So
So
like I think both water and electric were kind of in a bad place.
yeah, 100% agree.
For sure. And that's another reason why we wanted to do these prototype decks is because like to get them out, people talk, we listen.
Yeah,
And so like I I mean, obviously, like the tournament hasn't happened yet, and there should be an announcement soon. I hope. I'm waiting on some things on Dan's end before I like publicly start talking about stuff. Because if I do, he'll be like, what are you doing?"
Didn't tell you we
So
could
once
do
he
this.
says it's okay, I'm gonna start talking about what we're gonna be doing for the tournament. But like we are very actively listening and making adjustments on the fly because what Dan wants to do is once the Kickstarter launches and set one is like official, he doesn't want to make any changes. He doesn't want to do a set 1.1. He
Yeah,
wants it to be set one and that's it.
yeah. What?
So we've been very actively listening, taking notes. When people say certain criticisms, we take it to the design team, and we are very much listening. There's been a lot of changes already, even without the tournament happening yet. Just because, like, people have their TTS matches, people are doing their own webcam matches. Sometimes we come in and we watch a little bit. And again, as long as people are vocal and telling us what they do like, what they don't like, we can take a look at it and go, well, does this fit? And we can make adjustments, and we have. And when it comes to certain cards, which I cannot talk about, there's been some major adjustments already.
Yeah, no.
And
I
so
mean,
I'm really looking forward to like just kind of showing like what has been done by the design team. I have had no say in what these things are, so don't think like I'm the one going like, let's change this. I just that's not what I'm saying here. But the team that's making these adjustments and what Dan is doing has been phenomenal.
oh yeah, no. Dan hit me Wirtz and Moolah up like about 2 months ago now, somewhere around that time period, and he was like, if you guys notice a problem card and like something that's obviously a problem card, please let me know so we can fix it. And I mean, like, with
Thanks,
a
Gorgon's gaze.
yeah, and then Aol. I was so
I still have PTSD from that night.
that was the most I have drunk in one night in 2 years, and that was so awesome. Every time anybody interrupted you, I just took a shot, and it was like the most I've drunk in one night.
I just remember you randomly turning on your webcam multiple times that night and just dancing to yourself, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I got
What?
so bored because I was like Wirtz, this is mid match. That match took 4.5 hours, and I was just like, Wirtz, why?
Yeah, that was not a fun night for me.
It was not. And then but yeah, he hit us up and he was like, if you guys have any problem cards, and I mean like immediately Moxie was like, oh, Exaltair. And then we had this like 3 hour long discussion with Moxie me Wirtz, and Dan Moolah was asleep at the time. He woke up and he was like, Jesus Christ, like what did you do? and
It has happened.
and
I've been part of
yeah.
certain discussion threads as well with different things, and I've absolutely woken up going, "There are over 200 messages in this thing. What has happened?
Oh yeah, no,
Is
I
everyone okay?"
I woke up to like 80 messages in the YouTuber chat, and it was just Jacob, Bortz, and Moxie all like talking about like something on a video, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what did I just come into? And then just to find out like, oh, somebody had said a mean comment on one of Jacob's videos. I was like, okay, so this boils down to somebody didn't like Jacob's deck profile. That's cool. Yeah, it was kind of funny.
That's what it is.
So, speaking of deck profile, if you could build a deck around any singular Celestial that's been announced to this date,
It's been announced. Okay.
I mean, obviously, like, I don't know what you know, so I don't know
I
what.
mean,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if
yeah,
you said that it hasn't been
so,
announced, I still wouldn't tell you.
yeah, so anything that's been announced to this date.
Okay. Well, what can I think?
Like, no holds barred, you have 3 copies of every card you need to make it happen.
Again, I really like Thunder, and I don't. Ohm's in a spot right now. I like Imperial is getting some work done, and so I could make that work. But I think I'd still prefer Voltempest, which I know that's been teased. I don't know if that's been announced
It
yet,
has
has
not
it?
been announced yet. No, no, no.
Okay, but it's
No.
been teased.
Yeah.
It's been teased, and
Is
let
it
me just tell you, uh, Voltempest,
Full Tempest? Okay.
Voltempest.
I gotta say, like, honestly, if I was building a Thunder deck, I'd probably go for a Lyca Vault build. just because I love Likeable, like his design concept.
Likeable and Amp Up are great. I
Yes.
think even in my Voltempest deck, I would have Likeable and Amp Up
Yeah,
to do stuff.
in a previous
And gotta have some Sparkets in there.
yes.
That's just
And then Riceros to make sure that you can always have the way to beat over something if you need be. In a previous SSP, Still Spirits podcast, in a previous podcast, Wirtz had mentioned the possibility of Dan doing like different print of like cards down the line. So like Necruff like having its different effect later on down the line in another
yes, it's
set.
possible.
Yeah,
It's possible
so,
that,
and so like the thing that I like to think about is like Amp Up's effect to the current one we have, being able to search out like a different Amp Up and just having like diverse effects. And so like the ideas like that kind of get in my head, and I'm like, oh, I want this, I want
wow.
this, I want this, I want this so
obviously
badly.
There's a lot of things that we would want, but then there's still a balance issue. We gotta think
I want this because like imagine if like Dan is like, okay, well we're gonna release an amp up where it's like you can discard it from your hand to make your opponent discard a card, and then you're like, okay, well I'm gonna discard.
wow. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah,
that's,
anything's.
That's one of the beautiful things about.
It's just that Words had mentioned
Dan
that previously in
making
the
his
video.
own card game is that at the end of the day, if Dan thinks something's cool, he's gonna find a way to make it work.
Yeah. Oh. Speaking of which, can you confirm if the Keith card is real or not? Because like I don't know if that's NDA or not, but like, is the Keith card real? Because we're having this huge argument in the Discord now.
Really? Are we really having that argument?
I
Or
think
is this
you
just
and I have
meme
had this
that
argument.
got out of control?
Okay, it's a meme that got out of control, but still.
There is currently not a Keith card.
Okay, cool.
Unless Dan is hiding a card from me.
I can see that though.
I can see that. No, the Keith card is a meme.
All right,
it's a fun meme.
So if somebody uses their if somebody uses their own create a card to make a Keith
If
card.
somebody made a create a card to create a Keith card, you could do that. That's I mean, just
Hold on, let me send a
that
DM
back
to
for a
Moxie
second.
real quick. Let me send a DM
let
to
me
Moxie real quick.
explain that to your viewers real quick. So,
Okay.
the Kickstarter is going to have a couple different tiers for things when the Kickstarter launches on November 15th. It's 15th or 14th?
15th, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the tiers that you guys can purchase is design a card. There's going to be only a few slots of these, and you can't just make something broken. Dan gets to have final say, so do not think that you could just make whatever you want, like to break the game. If you have an idea, like we will make it work, and Dan will work with you to make it work, and we'll add it to the game, which is super cool. Because how many people get to say, "Hey, I designed a card for this card game"? Like, not many people get to do that. Why do you have that look on your face?
Oh no reason. Just thinking about the card.
You're thinking about your pizza card.
I'm thinking about the pizza card.
Stop thinking about pizza card.
But pizza card.
No.
It's kind of interesting to know, like, now knowing what we know what the pizza card originally was Lightning Bolt of Zeus.
Yeah.
And then
like, yo, it looks like pizza. I'm like, that's a lightning bolt.
And
okay.
how quickly this has spiraled out. Did you see the pineapple pizza ambrosia?
Especially like when we were in our big reveal phase before we really talked about like a lot about what Alestrals was. The theory crafting was some of the most fun things that Dan and I would literally just sometimes we'd just be DMing each other back and forth, going like, "Wow, they really like are close on this one," or just, "What are they doing? Stop. No, what human being would jump to this conclusion? Why are they all agreeing with this?" Like, it was. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
just like, and then like jumping in, giving not real actual hints, but just saying words. I would always jump in and just post the SpongeBob gif of like the bubble elephant and Patrick laughing going into giraffe. I did that a lot. Just cause, like, again, it was insane. It was fun though.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
So, So something interesting that I saw you mention yesterday was that somebody came in and said they didn't watch A Drive, and you immediately latched onto that. So I'm not like a huge A Drive fan. I mean, I've said it multiple times. It's like the reason I really follow him is mostly because I feel bad because I met him at Dallas Regionals. I had no idea who he was,
Oh,
and I felt like I
fun.
made him mad because he just like kind of stormed off after I asked who he was. And
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, it was I sat down next to him because he was sitting by himself, and I was like I don't like people being alone, and so I was also alone because I had first regionals. So I was like okay, well I'm gonna sit with this guy. And people kept coming up to him, taking pictures with him, talking to him, saying, hey man,
Yeah.
great, yeah, stuff like that, right? And I was like I have no idea who this man. So and then I heard somebody behind me go like something about A Drive, and I was like, oh wait, are you that Dan guy? Are you that A Drive guy? And he was like, yeah, what's your name? And I was like, John. And he was like, are you that John guy? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And then he just left. And I was like, oh, I'm an asshole, I guess.
No, no. I mean, that's very like just Dan. Like he probably, if he had to leave, he probably like he probably he could turn people off because like he just is super sarcastic all the time.
Yeah.
But he's not a mean guy. He's not a mean spirited individual.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure like he probably like legitimately just needed to like go somewhere or do something.
Yeah.
But like he just thought that was probably like that's a good way to end this little like
Yeah.
conversation, and he
Yeah.
just like left.
Yeah. No,
But
I
like
mean, definitely.
Dan's personality has definitely rubbed people the wrong way. I mean, so is mine, especially like in the server when I'm like doing certain things.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like again, it's so hard, especially like through text, to explain like sarcasm and joking and what seriousness. So like, I've absolutely done the same thing to people. So like, I have no nothing to stand on myself. But I'm sure, I'm sure Dan just thought that was funny.
Yeah. No,
But yeah, no, I was really excited when a person jumped in and they're just like, well, I don't really know who A Drive was because like that's the goal.
Yeah.
Is obviously we're kind of using Dan's popularity and his what Z-list celebrityism, whatever, because he's definitely not anything higher than Z-list. He's pretty far down there. Uh,
I mean, I would say in terms of like, the Pokemon community at the very least. I mean, like
in
he's
the
up.
Pokemon
Yeah.
community, he's pretty big, but
Yeah.
like obviously we're using his coattails in a sense to kind of be like, hey, look, Alestrals.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
ultimate goal is to spread it far and wide.
Yeah.
The
I
more
mean,
people that come in going, who's A Drive, happier I am because it just shows that Alestrals is growing. It's spreading beyond his personal sphere of influence.
oh yeah, no, like
Which
one
is,
of the
again, that's what we want. That's the healthiest thing, and like that just gives me so much like hope and pride that we're gonna be able to make this super cool product, and that like it will be able to continue to exist beyond set one, because like I want to get to set three, where we have all the elements.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. One of the hugest things I've been saying is like Alestrals is not for Pokemon fans. I mean, it's really not. I mean, if you take the Alestrals card game, and if well, I mean, it's I'm not saying it's not they can't enjoy it,
No,
but it's a card
I can
game.
agree with you. I
Yeah,
can agree with you.
it's not for Pokemon fans. Dan's fans aren't the target audience, like in whole. I mean, because if we just went with Dan's fans, it would feel a whole lot more closed off in a sense, if you get what I'm saying. So
I do.
I've always been like saying like the people that need to be targeted are card game players, are people who actively play card games because I mean this game while it does have collecting elements, one of Dan's key focuses has always been around competitive discussion, even around like before we knew how to play the game, he was driving into everybody. He wants this game to be fun to play and competitive. And so
Yes.
like the huge thing I've been saying is like while it's awesome to have Dan's fans in here. I mean, like a lot of like the people I
Yes.
met are fans of Dan. They're supporters of Dan first and foremost. There's also a lot of people who are here because they came from Magic. They're mad at Magic because Magic's trash. But I have like 18 videos in my like upload folder, and I'm like, should I upload these videos where I just spend the entire like 5 hours worth of footage just talking trash about Magic? And I'm like, should I upload these? And I'm just like, no. But we have people like coming from other card games who are like, because I mean, people who talk in chat are the vocal minority. I mean, like if you like look at chat, like I
Yeah,
mean,
there's currently over 6,000 people on that server, and I can tell you we've got only
like
a
100.
handful of people that talk.
Yeah, but the people
Yeah.
who jump in voice chat though, those people, a lot of the people we've been talking to came from Magic, where their friends got them to play from Magic. For example, Pure NCF. He's not as active in the main Discord. He's mostly in the competitive Discord that Jai made. But he came over from Shadowverse.
Okay.
I don't even think he's subscribed to A Drive. He knows who A Drive is, like, obviously if you're in the Pokemon
Yeah.
community. I mean, but I got him to come over from Shadowverse. I've known the man for 10 years, and he is hooked on the game now. I can't get him to stop playing.
Perfect.
He spent like
That's what we
38.
want. We want
He's
you to get hooked on the game.
he has more
Back our
hours logged
product.
on
Spend your
TTS than
money.
me. Okay, don't say that. Me
Yeah,
playing.
that was a little capitalist. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
That probably made a lot of people upset. I'm sorry.
well,
That was a joke.
I mean,
Come on.
keep in mind for anybody who might have gotten upset by that, Dan has said that he's not taking any money from Elestrals. It's all going back into Elestrals.
It's true.
So-
All money that Elestrals has made so far with like the prototype decks has gone back into the development of Elestrals. In fact, I was talking to Dan a little bit about like certain finances and stuff because there was like a we had a budget for Elestrals. We are 3 times over budget. We are losing money right now on Elestrals by a lot. And even with the prototype decks selling way, way more than we thought they were going to. Let's be honest. Like, we were blown away by how many people wanted prototype decks.
Yeah,
We
no,
were thinking, like, hey, 1,000 max.
yeah, no. That's what. Honestly, that
Oh,
was my
wow.
expectation. Like, honestly, my expectation was 1,000, and then I saw how many he had to order,
Yeah,
and I was
no,
like,
it was-
Jesus Christ.
It was 5 times more than we thought, if not 6 times more than we thought was going to happen.
Okay, that's much more than I.
Which is awesome. We're super glad that people are like that interested. But like it's just one of those things where like even then, which like that helped to kind of recoup some of the costs. Dan said no, and that's why everyone was able to get a little celebrations Nimbug card because we took that
Oh yeah.
extra money
By the way, I
and
need.
we made more cards. We added an extra 12 cards to everyone's deck. Like all of that money that could have been used to help kind of like facilitate the funds, we just put back into those orders to give to the people because they're supporting us.
Yeah, no, one of the things I've been telling people, I mean, like, even in my earliest videos where I talked about it, I mean, like, I've been following AJ for only, like, 2 years. So, but in that 2 years, I mean, I've seen him make Team Shiny, I've seen him make TGA, is that right?
PGA.
Yeah, I've seen him make TGA. I've seen him bounce around from like all these different games, trying to get a more diverse concept going. Then I've seen him partner with like Pixelmon and stuff like that. Right? He's done so much, so many things. I'm just like every time I see him do another thing, I'm like, he's not going to stop until this is perfect. He's not going to stop until this succeeds.
True.
And so
He's
like when
almost got an obsessive personality when it comes to work.
I think that's
He has some of the craziest work ethic I've ever seen, and he will like work a problem until it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% commendable. I love it, and that's why whenever he dropped the starter decks, I was okay with dropping that $500 like that. I was okay with that because I mean, like for one, I want to help Dan as much as I can. I mean, like obviously, I'm very vocal about all the negative things about Elestrals because I mean, like he asked us for feedback, right?
Well, we also need to hear that. Like,
yeah.
As much as we love hearing the praise, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's we're always happy to like, hey, design team did something right. Dan had a great idea on this card. It worked great. But like, when something doesn't work, people need to be vocal. We need to know. We need to make adjustments because, like, again, once set one's out, set one's out. Like, and it's just out.
I mean, like, and I don't think people understand that is like, Dan has already said whenever set one drops, if he has to ban or restrict cards, he will, but he doesn't want to be in that situation when that kind of happens. He wants it was on a YouTube video. 98% sure it was on a YouTube video. It was either on a YouTube video or in Discord, but I know that it was public. It was a public discussion. He had said that if it comes to it, he wants to ban cards. He wants to restrict cards if he has to. He is not going to errata.
Just because, like, again, it's just one of those things where, if we have our own pot of greed situation and it's just like, okay, we got to. Sorry, we just have to. Then we will. It's just we don't want to leave our game in a place where it wasn't tested enough.
Yeah,
that's one of the things. That's one of the beautiful things about this Discord server and why it currently exists. Is not only does it promote Elestrals, and not only does it allow people to foster friendships. Like, I'm super excited and happy that you've been able to start, really like kickstart. You've got like more YouTuber subscribers. You've got more YouTuber friends. You started a podcast. Like, that's awesome, and I'm so glad that we were able to help like facilitate people to like talk about the things that we're working on that we love and that other people are also loving it themselves. But like, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just rambling. But like, I'm just super just
it,
happy that like again that we've got people actively discussing what we're doing and to like give us positive feedback and give us negative feedback and just like because like if somebody's there to give you negative feedback but they stick around, that negative feedback isn't just criticism for the sake of criticism because they don't like you. It's because they want it to be good too.
yeah, I mean, like,
That's awesome.
for example, I mean, like, a lot of the people who backed, the prototypes, right? A lot of them are A-Drive fans. I mean, like, it's like some people are. I probably say it like it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just, I'm trying not to say this without coming off like rude or disrespectful to anybody, because I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
if
I
there's
mean,
no other way to say it, just say it.
okay, okay. So a lot of them are like A-Drive fans. They see Alestrals as like just another way to support A-Drive with his merch deal. Which
Yes.
again, investing into Alestrals is not investing into A-Drive. I mean, like it's because I mean you're investing into his goals. So
Yeah.
yes, but no. You get what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Yeah,
I would say I would agree with you. It's both yes and no.
because I mean all the money is going back into Alestrals. None of it's that I know of. None of it is going back into his pocket, from what he
No,
said.
all of it's. He's,
Yeah.
he's very vocal and very clear about how
So
all of it so far is going back into Alestrals to develop.
So it's like a lot of them are most likely seeing it as just reinvesting back into A Drive. They're not going to be providing any feedback. So whenever you have people like me or Wertz who are like, "Hey, this card is a problem card. This is something like that needs to be taken care of," stuff like that. We're going to be the vocal minority. We're like, "Hey, let's focus on the balancing here." So like if I go like, "Hey, I think this card is trash. Is there any way we can buff it, or is there any like synergies that we have?" It's like Dan takes that and he's like, "Yeah, this is feedback," and like
Yeah,
that's to help him out.
feedback is super crucial,
I
especially for a card game, because like it's one of those things where like when you think about like the Pokemon card game and its feedback, I don't know how much they actually actively get because there's so many people who buy their cards and they still have a substantial player base who actually like actively play. But like, how do you get in touch with Pokemon to tell them that their card is garbage?
Oh yeah, no, and I mean like again the huge another
You make
huge
a Reddit thread, you talk about it, and then people get off topic and go, "Bro, you think that's bad? Think about this." And like, no, like I'm sure there's some good like discussion that happens. Does Pokemon even see that?
Yeah, I mean like the few times where Pokemon has actually had to issue a ban was like Lysander's trump card, which prevented the game from ever ending. Then you had cards like Shift Tree, which would result in an FTK. And you had situations like that, yeah, where it's like it's blatantly a problem because it just won 3 regionals in a row,
Yeah,
and I mean Pokemon also has a massive multi-million-dollar, $1 million R&D team. Like they don't
yeah.
have, yeah.
Honestly, like
I
they
mean,
take a lot of time with their card. I'm not
yeah,
saying that they
yeah, yeah,
don't,
yeah.
but
No,
like
no,
if
I'm agree.
something comes out and it's out for them, and
Yeah,
they try to they work on the future, which is fine.
yeah.
Like that's what we're gonna be doing too. Like once set one is done, don't think that we're not gonna start working on set two. Set two's already being worked on, actually. Uh,
Can you say that? Oh
yeah,
no, Dan said that. Dan said that. Dan
yeah,
has said that. Yeah,
Dan
yeah, yeah,
said
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Said that.
Sorry,
No, so
sorry. Okay,
set two's been worked on.
okay,
So
okay.
like it's not like we don't want to like look at the past, but it's just like once something's out, it's out.
Yeah, we can't, we
That's just the
can't,
way it
we
is.
can't
Like
retract it. I
you
mean,
gotta
at
you
that
gotta
point,
work. So like during development, and again, it's also one of those things where like they have this huge like team of people that like do what you're discussing right now is
yeah.
just like giving feedback, saying things. We don't have that. We have like Dan who likes the card game. We've got like a few other of his friends. We've got me. We look at the cards. We go, yeah, I think this is pretty neat. But like, we need people to give us feedback, and that's why the server exists. That's
What,
why like your guys' feedback is so crucial
which is
to
where
like
all
the
my,
health of the game.
which is where all my trash talk comes in.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot of trash taste.
Hey, listen, man. I think, yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, no, it's just really funny to hear you saying stuff like that, because it's like a lot of people have said that I've been like bullying Dan, or I've been throwing punches at Dan, which because I mean like
I mean, I try to bully Dan all the time, and he bullies me back. Like that's just our friendship. But no, like feedback is so crucial. I cannot understate, and I know like we've been like kind of just for the last 10 minutes just repeating the same
yeah,
thing
yeah.
over and over again here. But like I cannot like again, I cannot say how crucial it is that we have this line of communication
Yeah,
to get this feedback of what works and what doesn't work.
yeah,
If everyone screams water is bad, we're gonna change water. Thank you for telling us that water was bad.
yeah.
We
Water's bad.
are changing water.
Hey, Keith, have I told you in the last 20 minutes that water is bad?
I've heard it just through your mental
Mm,
your psychic energy that you've been
mm.
throwing out, and I'm just like, wow, he wants to talk about how bad water is. I know,
Yeah,
but he does.
I'm thinking about getting. I'm
That's all he's
literally.
thinking about. Is just like, man, water's bad.
I'm thinking about getting a playmat
And again,
commissioned where it's
that's
just
why,
like water is
again,
bad.
Sluggle's already been revealed, like the new Sluggle card already.
Yeah, yeah.
Because thanks to revealing Stellar Sluggle, which I love Stellar Sluggle.
Oh, dude, it is amazing.
It's so good. It's so
Like,
good.
I
Like
was, I
we
was
were
like,
able to show, like, hey, we've already made some changes, and that's super cool. And also, we changed and we put cast as a keyword, so that should hopefully help people and not get so many
stop
DMs in the middle of the
staring
night.
at me. No, it's really funny because like I mean, obviously everybody says like I'm one of the best players. You guys have no idea. I don't know how Gorgon's Gaze works. Like,
Dude, I don't know how Gorgon's Gaze works. And we've had 4 hours long conversation. No, Gorgon's Gaze is also being changed. I will say that.
Thank
I don't
you.
know if I can say that.
Well,
I'm gonna say that.
I know he's dropped.
Uh,
I know he's dropped a couple. He's dropped a couple updated text for it. But I mean, like it's been updated
yes,
like 6 or 7 times now. So I mean, like,
it has been updated
and
since. We are looking at Gorgon's Gaze because like we still think that Gorgon's Gaze is a great card, and that it has a place at Illustrious.
oh yeah, no, I think it's a great
It's
side deck card.
just it's really hard to make that card and word it in a way that isn't confusing. So it is one of those cards that, again, I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to because it's a very controversial card. That is being reworded again, and hopefully this time we'll get it to the point where everyone's on the same page. I think no matter what, when it has to deal with like counters, there's always going to be questions.
I
And
think Dan,
I think we realize that now. No matter what, if there's some sort of counter, people are going to be, but can I block this? Can I do this? Does this not get countered because I want it to not get countered? No matter what, cards like that are going to be an issue.
yeah,
And I think we just have to keep at it until it's at a place where everyone, where like, if 8 out of 10 people can go, oh, okay, I think we're good. Which I don't know. I don't know if that's the bar we should be hitting for, but like counters specifically confuse people. They confuse me. Gorgon's Gaze, I've like changed my mind of going like, wow, I love this card to wow, I hate this card, to like, oh, this makes sense to nothing makes sense. Am I even real? Can I be countered? I don't know. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's kind of funny hearing you say counters are very confusing because like Gorgon's Gaze isn't even the only counter card that's actually thrown me for a loop. For example, Poison Tipped Arrow. I did not know
you
that.
talk about PTA a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was that the -3 is permanent. So I'm over here like feeling like I need to forcefully expend at the end of the turn, and then I'm like, and then Pure did it to me, and I was like, wait, you can't attack over my Lestral, and he was like, yes, I can. It has -3, and I was like, what? Yeah, no, I also don't know how to read, so there's that too.
So, hey, you know what? It's not even really a reading issue. It's a comprehension issue. That's the issue.
Listen, I
Because
can't.
like, because we can like think of something, think of a wording, and go, this makes sense for how we're thinking of the game and where we want things to be, right?
Yeah.
And then like it gets released, and then it's just like people look at it, and go, what?
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
like one of the things that really caught me off guard was Dan said Nexus was super important to the game. He was like, Nexus is so powerful, Nexus is so powerful. And every time I look at the word Nexus, I'm like, make it to where my Lestral is now a target for effects. I don't like that. So seeing him say like Nexus is so powerful, Nexus is so powerful, and then situations.
I mean, Nexus is powerful.
I think
But-
the Nexus effects are
But-
powerful, but they have such a huge drawback. It's almost not worth
But
it.
it's also one of those things where it's like when Dan was still doing his internal playtesting, there was like, I don't know how many people played with cards, but like, not a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just his close friends and people who had signed NDAs, and you know,
Yeah.
what becomes powerful in a subset group just is not. That's just a subset. Like once
Yeah.
you release the cards to hundreds of people, things are going to change, and that's one of the things that like the meta that Dan and his friends created was broken immediately
Yeah.
by you guys.
Yeah. I
So
mean, like
like,
I saw I saw the game and I was like, instead of like looking at it in a vacuum with just what Dan had said, because I mean, like you're always going to like when you have a core idea of what you want a deck to be or what you want a game to be, right? You're always going to lock that idea in your head as the thing you want to go towards. And so I was like, what if I just ignored everything Dan has ever said? And I literally didn't even watch the how to play video,
I ignore
nothing at
everything
all.
Dan ever says.
And so I took all the prototype cards, I laid them out in front of me in TTS, and I was like, all right, what are the powerful effects? And like 30 minutes later, I had Summer Winds built.
Your
And,
Summer Winds deck was super cool.
yeah, no, everybody's been like going like this is the standard for deck building now, and I'm just like, you guys don't understand. It's very easy. For example, it's like whenever we had all the Earth cards, right? We were like, okay, this is so good, but it's missing a starter. You have stuff, right? But it's missing a starter. Dan is like, all right, guys, here's Rummagem, and immediately, Wirtz and I literally that night were playing mirror matches constantly, back and forth, back and forth. It was like literally like 3 hours of mirror matches, just because of the fact that Earth had suddenly gotten the one thing we had immediately noticed it needed, but like we also didn't really want to like go like, hey Dan, we need this for the deck. Let's do it, right?
I mean, honestly, if you think something needs something, just be vocal about it. Like that's feedback.
All right,
We want that.
so
Now, obviously,
water needs
not all
good
cards have
effects.
been revealed yet because we're in our little like countdown to Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And there's some fun things coming,
Do you-
including one of my favorite stellars.
All right, so you don't have to answer this question like with like the actual answer, but do you know if
Sure.
if we'll have all the cards for set 1 before the Kickstarter? You don't have to answer it with the actual answer, it's just do you know?
Oh, I actually don't know. I
Yeah,
don't.
cuz like
I,
look
I want to say that I don't think so.
yeah,
I
cuz
think there's still gonna be one or two cards, or a few cards that like aren't gonna be. But I'm not sure.
cuz looking at all the cards we have revealed, we have like
you
around
have to
80 to
remember,
90.
like,
Yeah.
and this is one of those things where it's just like I'm in a weird spot
Yeah.
because I help with the Lestrals,
Yeah.
but I help with the Discord.
Yeah.
Like I have input occasionally, but I'm not part of the design team. I'm not part of the Kickstarter team. I'm not part of sales.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that.
You probably have
I just
you probably have more input
I'm
than
more of a like I'm a self-dubbed. I call myself a community manager.
Yeah.
I I don't know if I actually should be considered one, uh, but I kind of think that way about my role,
Yeah.
right? Because like I try to interact. I try to like if somebody has an issue, I tell them where to go. I'm trying to just be an extra bridge between the community and Dan. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, Dan is also very active in the server, and he's going to answer questions himself. But also, Dan's building the card game. He's got his family. He's working, whatever. I also have my own stuff going on. I'm working too. So it's just one of those things where, like, not everyone can be everywhere all at once. But, like, if I can help bridge some of this gap and to help, like, get communication going, then
Yeah.
I'm doing my job. So that's why I think, like, that's kind of where I am.
I would probably
So
call
like
you
it's
like,
really weird because like so here I am like just trying to like like doing what I'm doing with you like saying like yeah I'll absolutely talk to you on a Discord call for an hour. That's totally fine. Uh, like Dan might not have the time to do this. Dan's probably right now looking at his he's probably done for the day. But he's probably been working on Lestrals all day. He's probably been doing some other stuff and now he's probably having dinner with his family and it is whatever. And I've just been like popping in and out of the server and talking to people and I mean, it's just different roles, different jobs.
yeah. Yeah. No, I would definitely call you a community manager for one, because I mean, like you do manage the community. Anytime there's problems or issues, you jump in there to intervene and you make sure that everything is managed properly. I would definitely say that you would be, I'd call you that. And I do 100% appreciate, you keeping people away from Dan, because I mean, you see like, people adding Dan all the time, and I'm like, I try, if I see it, I try to go like, guys, please don't, please don't.
Yeah.
For any of you guys who are in the Discord who are watching this, do not at Dan for any reason whatsoever, unless it's like you didn't get your starter.
Yeah, there's, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's like
Yeah,
if like
yeah.
maybe
Let's say like your prototype decks still haven't come in. I mean, they've all been shipped out for like
Yeah.
a week and a half at this point.
like again if you and I'll do this little PSA for anyone who's watching. If you have some sort of issue, then you need to send an email to elestrals@gmail.com, and that goes to our team. And helps deal with our problems. And also, sometimes, occasionally, Dan answers those emails himself. So, like, now don't flood that email. It's the support email. Thanks,
Sorry.
Johnny. Uh, like that email exists for when there's a problem. So if you have any sort of issue, especially when it comes to like things with money involved, because that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's the email you need to go to. Like, and again, if you jump into the server, you go to the support channel, I might be able to talk to you. I might be able to help with what I know. But like, that's where you need to go. That will get you in the right direction, and we'll take care of anything that we can. We've helped a lot of people. Sometimes people just have the wrong information written down. But like, we will do anything we can to help support you guys when you have problems because you're helping support what we're doing, which is making a really cool card game.
So, one more to get back to a more like positive, lighthearted note, because I mean, like we've been serious for like the last 20 minutes, and I don't like being super serious. So,
Okay.
Dan has said that he wants regional championships. You know, he wants to host the world championships, etc., etc. Right?
Yes.
Would you be playing in those, or would you attend them if you could, or what would
I
your
don't
role be in
think
that?
I'm ever going to be a competitive player, personally. I don't have the time to really dedicate to uh, like building a super competitive deck, practicing it, getting it down. I want to play casually when I can, and I would love to go to a regional and like just be there. Like I don't even I probably wouldn't even commentate. I just like be helping in the back and just like checking on our players, like making sure everyone needs stuff like, and obviously like I know we've joked that like, hey, if like you won a tournament, I'd have to give you the trophy. Dan would be the one giving the trophy. Let's be real.
No, no,
It'd
no.
be it's his game.
I would refuse to
It's
take
his
a
game.
I would refuse to take a trophy from Dan. It has to be from you. At least
Just,
the
just be
first
like,
one. At least the
"Where's
first one.
Keith?"
Where is Keith? I'm not taking this trophy unless it's from Keith directly.
But I would love to be like part of a regional in some way, shape, or form, just like staff. That would be a dream. That would be phenomenal. I don't know how long it'll take to get there,
Yeah, because I mean, like we have
but
to get the cards out. We have to see how much people are
well,
actively
again,
playing. You know.
we don't know how successful the Kickstarter is going to be. Now, the prototype decks made us very happy because it blew our expectations out of the water. But people can get the prototype decks to go, wow, I don't want the real thing anymore. I got what I wanted out of this, and
Or
then maybe
yeah,
the Kickstarter does bad. We don't know. We don't
yeah,
know. We don't. Everything that we want to do, everything that we've talked about and hinted at, like things like, because like we want to have deck sleeves, we want to have like all these other stuff, and some of this stuff might be Kickstarter like stretch goals, but like what Alestrals becomes depends on you. You get to say. You have the final say. Like we want Alestrals to be big, and it's not going to be big unless you guys support it.
yeah.
That's just the way it is.
That's one of the things that I've been like, very adamant about is as much as I would love to like, obviously I would love to play Alestrals for a while. I can't lock my channel exactly specifically into Alestrals content because
Oh,
like I mean
for sure.
like
'Cause
yeah
like especially
yeah
like once set one comes out, I mean, who knows how long it'll be
yeah
until set two? Like other things are gonna be
yeah
coming out because like
set
we
set
can't knock out a set every 2 months like other card companies that have
yeah.
millions of dollars.
I think like Dan has said that he wanted like 2 to 3 sets a year, and I think that's a very healthy that's a very healthy standard for the game because I mean that's like every 3 to 4 months the meta shakes up, so you have time to get the cards you want to play with, you have time to play test, you have time to go to your locals, to your regionals, to other events, right? You have all that
I
time.
would love to get to that point, but
That
I
would
just even with set one and like set two being what it is, super excited for set two already. By the way,
yeah,
it's
I am too.
got an element that I enjoy.
I I'm gonna take that as an element of the game. But no, I mean
Yes.
I'm excited for set two too because I mean like obviously we've seen 3/4 to 4/5 of the stuff that we have so far, right? Somewhere around that
Oh,
point.
you've seen the majority.
Yeah, yeah, we've
You've
seen
seen
the
the
vast
majority.
majority of set one, and I'm like looking at set one, and I'm like, what stops me from playing Summer Winds with what we have right now? What stops me from playing Mono Earth with what we have right now? Because I mean, I think those are going to be the two most dominant decks in the game. Is going to be Summer Earth and Summer Winds and Mono
I
Earth.
agree. I think those decks are going to definitely
From
be
what we've
pretty
seen so
powerful.
far,
Like
obviously.
Earth is in a great spot.
Earth is in a very
Earth is in a
wonderful.
great spot.
Like
Like
he dropped Giraffe, and I was like, oh my god, yes, let me play Rummagem 6 times. Thank you. I would.
uh,
It's like
that's another thing why like it's super interesting because like obviously like no matter what card game, there's always a meta for
yeah,
each
yeah,
set, and like set two, I'm really excited to see how it's gonna shift things
yeah.
because it's going to shift things.
I have no doubt in my mind because I mean, like, I don't think
And so
Super
like
Wins is gonna be.
I as much as I love set one because I do. So, I mean it's it's our first set for a card game. Like it's got a lot of our like our babies in a sense like certain cards that we've been like excited about for months and months and months.
I can't see myself not loving Exalter after set one. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I just had so much memories with it. It's just fun.
I mean, there's even a card that's yet to be revealed that like I super enjoy. Its Stellar's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting on the Golden Totem Panda still.
You'll never get it.
Yeah, Dan, listen, Dan has never directly said it is not named the Golden Totem Panda. Other than the time that he actually told us its name. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, other than the time where he literally told you that it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's never directly said he never directly said it was. He just I've been so. So, we don't have much more time because I mean like we've hit we've hit.
This has been a very long call.
Yeah, this has been an hour. I was expecting like 45 minutes. Not gonna lie, I probably should have told you that beforehand. But we've gone over.
So it's no big deal. Again, I really enjoy being here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Before
I feel like we were a little unfocused.
Yeah.
Because we just kind of started talking for a while.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but that's
again, I appreciate you and everyone else part of this podcast that have taken so much time to help try to promote Alestrals and like also just like give your feedback, like I said, which is super crucial, and to try to get other people like to be knowledgeable about certain things. We greatly appreciate what you guys do. Like I know Dan has like told you guys that too, but like I just from an official capacity as much as I am an official, which is not much of one. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do as well to help support and promote our game.
I think well, we appreciate the thanks. I mean, I gotta throw it right back at you. I gotta be like, thank you for making such an amazing. Cause I mean, I've been
made anything. I don't make any of these cards, guys.
I mean, I mean, like you've been a huge part in the community and like driving engagement. So I gotta thank you guys for that much. I mean, even if you yourself didn't partake in making the game itself. I mean, I've been a card game player for 25 years, and this is one of the first card games where I like picked it up and I was like, this is mine. I love this. This is something I want. And I mean, like I've been very vocal about the fact I love Alestrals. I mean, like my channel was originally just based around Pokemon, then it like skyrocketed into other card games and stuff like that, right? And then like One Piece hit, and I was like, okay, One Piece, and then next day Dan was like, hey guys, I'm making a card game. And I was like, I'm hooked. I want to see it because Dan is Dan. And I know Dan is going to try his best to make sure that this is the most successful thing he can do. I want to see what he does. And then Dan started responding and like engagement. And I was like, dude, I love that he's engaging
This
with
is the most active Dan has ever been in a community aspect.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, Dan is, as much as Dan is like a public figure in a sense, right? As a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber, he's also a very private individual.
Yeah.
And so like it's like seeing him actively like participate in so many conversations like also just makes me happy because like I don't want to say he's always had like a disconnect, but he's always been this like when I'm streaming, I'm streaming. When I'm not streaming, I'm not streaming. And like that's he's a very like mentality of like I work when I work, I don't work when I don't work.
Yeah.
But like this has been the most like it's like Alestrals is like seeped into his brain and like he's very active and vocal and he wants to talk to people and like as his friend, if you could call us friends, I don't know, acquaintances. I've always been like very weird about like how do I call this guy who I've met a few times, yeah, but like are we friends? Are we not? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like just seeing him being more like active and vocal and wanting to talk about things like just makes me happy for him too because I know just how much he's enjoying this.
Oh yeah, no, it's been really interesting seeing like just how active he is. Like not like like messages and stuff like that, right? But like he'll be offline randomly in the middle of the night and then he'll log on at like 2 a.m. when we're all streaming games on when we're all playing games, and I'll be like, wait, did he just wake up in the middle of the night just to check the Discord? Like,
Probably not to just check the Discord. He does have a relative newborn at home.
yeah, that too, that too.
Like,
That's usually how I dismiss it, but
changing a diaper, and after he finished changing the diaper, was just like, "Hey, what's going on my server?"
yeah, no, I'll like see him post like answers to questions at 3 a.m. and sometimes, and I'm just like, this is. I love seeing this because it's like, he'll be active all day, and then next thing you know, he'll turn around and like early in the morning, and he'll be like, oh yeah, this is the answer to your rolling question, and then just peace out, and then like he'll be back like 2 hours later, and he'll be like, oh yeah, hey you guys, here's this, right? That's been super fun to see and super awesome to see from him. I
It's
mean,
just helpful because like
yeah.
even like with my understanding of certain things, like you guys ask certain questions that just break my brain, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to
Hey,
this.
while you're here,
Oh no.
I have a rolling question for you.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Go with it.
my opponent has Sonicor and Leonites on the board. With Sonicor, Leonite is equipped with a Sorlet. Okay, Leonite is equipped with a Hammer of Hephaestus, while with a Hephaestus on board. Okay, so can I Sorlet? Can I Sorlet my opponent's Sonicor, then Gorgon's Gaze his Leonite to turn around and activate Laurels on his Leonite so that I can attack over Sonicor with Sorlet?
Well, that's all the time we had.
By the way, the answer to that question is yes, and it is the most complicated rule that I've ever seen.
I know. As I say that, I'm like, I think you can, but like, there's so many steps to that I was like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, no, it's like literally the most complicated rolling I've been able to think up of, and Dan answered it like that, and I was like, I love that you knew this ain't rolling off the top of your head.
Yeah.
So now before we go, one more actual question.
Sure, no, for real. Anytime. Any question. Hit me
So Dan has been very vocal about the fact he's making a rule book, okay? And he's having different. I saw Distant Coder, for example, a Yu-Gi-Oh judge, one of the most known Uggi-Oh judges, reaching out to Dan like, hey, like here's my history, can I help you out? I saw Magic judges also doing it. I saw Pokemon professors also doing it. Do you know like an expected time zone where people might be able to, or do you know if you're allowed to discuss that kind of thing? Expect that?
I don't think I am, but
Okay.
let me check something on my phone real quick.
Okay. If you can't, then I mean you can't. However, yeah, no, I just.
So there is going to be a thing,
Okay.
and it is going. I can't really talk about times. I can't really talk about
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But before the Kickstarter.
Yep.
So that's all I can say.
So it is
before
before
the
it is
Kickstarter,
before the
there's going to
Kickstarter.
be an updated how to play.
So within the next like 3 weeks, we should be because that's the Kickstarter is about
Again, I
So
can't-
so
I can't
around that next
discuss
3 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
When,
Alright.
where,
Yeah,
how
no.
soon, how whatever. But yes,
Because one of the
it's
things.
already on. I looked at the schedule. It's scheduled.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
I probably can't even say that. I might get in trouble for it, but it's scheduled.
All right. I don't want
Any
to.
other questions?
I'm gonna stop before I go anywhere near anything because
That's
if
fair.
if that gets you in trouble, then I would feel very horrible.
See, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I mean-
hey, if I get in trouble with Dan, what's he gonna do? Sue me? He could.
He could.
He could.
He could.
I
I mean, if
let's look at tomorrow's stuff. Obviously, we've got our 30 days of Alestrals. Let's look what's going on tomorrow. Oh, okay.
he's hanging this over my head,
Damn.
he's
Then-
dangling this in my face.
Oh, look at that. Oh, the next day after that. Oh, okay. Ooh, some things. No,
Some things.
some things. Now we've got some exciting things to show off. Obviously, like can't talk about it, but I'm really excited to show that some of the feedback that you guys have given has already been implemented.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be super fun,
Okay.
and I'm excited.
So now a personal question. Your favorite 3-cost Celestial that has been revealed, not teased, revealed.
Infernal.
You want to know why? Trifistic, let's go! That being said,
Stop it. Some help.
Dan didn't know what that meant. He didn't get it.
Really?
Yeah, no. We had to spell it out for him.
Oh, that's sad.
We were literally linking the picture of Triff doing the pin best deck thing in the Discord, and he was like, "Oh, I get it now." It was kind of
At
funny.
the same time, now that Pantera has been revealed, Terra is also pretty good.
Pentair is really cool. I mean, I wouldn't see myself playing it competitively, but I mean, I think it's really cool. I just see my opponent like crashing. I just see like myself crashing, Hydrake, then crash the middle one. Twin Terror? Twin Drake? Sorry, I haven't got the chance to actually look at the
No,
second.
I haven't. I don't try to remember the exact.
Yeah. Twindra?
It might be Twindra.
I think it's Twindra. Might
I
be
think it's
Twindra.
Twindra.
I just see myself crashing Twindra into Necruff, and then taking, Hydrake damage, taking the damage from, Hydrake, playing Hydrake, crashing Hydrake into a Necruff, taking the damage from the Necruff's effect, crashing Twindra into Hydrake, taking the 2 from, playing Hydrake, Twindra into Necruff to play Pentair, costing 10 life to play Pentair, only for it to get Shield of Achilles back to hand. And I just see that possibility happening, and I'm just like, I can't play this in a competitive environment.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't have a counter,
Then it's terrifying.
great.
Yeah, no, if they
it's
don't have a
terrifying.
count,
It's
yeah,
absolutely terrifying.
yeah, no, especially
Uh,
after Dan said that he was going to change it to include also to be destroyed by card effects, like in the Discord. I was like, I love it. I love it now. From a casual standpoint, I love it because it's big. Because you said that in the you said that the day, like literally like an hour after it got revealed, everyone was like, "Oh, but we're not playing this because of Poison Tipped Arrow. We're not playing this because of Laurels. We're not playing this because of Earthquake." And Dan was like, "What if we just tacked on if it's destroyed by card effect?" And everyone was like, "Oh, we're playing this now."
yeah.
And I'm just like,
I mean, again, that's just one of those things where it's like feedback.
yeah,
We
which
want cause, like not only do we want the game to be competitive, but we want the game to be fun. So like, if there's gonna be a card that like might not be competitively viable, but it's just stupid fun, we're okay with that.
sorry, had to do it.
You're just gonna do that now in front of everyone.
I'm just gonna do it now in case anybody actually watches. If they get to this point, then they know what it does.
I'm just saying, like this is an hour in. There's some dedication.
If they get to this point, then they know what
Listening
it
to my
if they do.
stupid voice for that long, that's
Yep,
pretty.
yep. So I mean,
I guess that's just. I guess that's just.
that's your reward, guys. If you get to this point, then I mean, like you guys know that it's called Rise from the Ashes, and it's a monster reborn that costs 3. So that's your reward.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That being said, though, Keith, it has been amazing having you on. Do you have any closing statements you want to throw out at everybody?
Closing statements. I know I mean, I've touched upon this a lot because again, I think I've kind of been repeating and rambling a little bit, and that's just how I always talk. So I apologize on that. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who has helped make Alestrals what it is today. From Dan and his fever dream that New Year's Eve, uh, that led to this starting on January 1st of this year, to like everyone part of the development team and all of the artists and there's so many people that have stepped up to make Alestrals what it is, and then the community itself. Like Alestrals wouldn't be where it is, and I wouldn't be in this really weird limbo state of like part of it and also not part of it that I am, like without everyone. And it's just been a super fun experience since we've really kicked it off back in July, I think was when we launched the
I
Discord.
think it was I think it was
It
either
was July,
July,
so like
the last day of
months
July or
of,
August.
since we've been super active about Alestrals, but like couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. And I cannot thank you enough for being here, for caring, and like just being just part of an awesome group of people that I enjoy talking to when I get the time.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first that he is a proud supporter of the Pizza Pact, and
I am not.
he
I am not that.
he fully supports pizza being an Illustrals, and he loves my
Nope.
create your own card idea.
Nope.
So that being said, I've already.
Slander,
um,
defamation.
it's not defamation. It's subjecting my will upon your words.
Which probably illegal.
Isn't it?
I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Or is it misquoting? It's one of the two. But that being said, though, guys, this has been a lot of fun, Keith. We really enjoyed having you on.
Well, again, thank you for having me. I'm really excited that I was able to talk to everyone in the Steal the Spirit. Oh wait,
Oh yeah, no, it's For those of you who don't know, Moxie is he had surgery, then he got sick like literally a day later, and he's just been able to. And Wirtz is at work, and Jacob is at work, and we wouldn't have been able to schedule anything in like the next like week, and then it would have had to been pushed to next weekend. And next weekend we had a lot of other ideas we wanted to go over. We want to go over all the leaks that are going to happen over the next week, so it's like it's just.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully, maybe we could do this again sometime.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, definitely.
I'm
I would
sure,
love to have you back on here with all
with
like
everybody,
all,
because
yeah,
I'm sure they have their own questions too, and I'm sure they're gonna look back at this and going like, "Wow, you guys did nothing for an hour." And I'm
yeah.
like, I know it was great.
All you guys did was ramble about game balance and stuff. That being said, though, guys, we will be seeing you guys later in another Steal the Spears podcast.
Hi guys.